I always considered myself a woman who knew what she wanted from life. Years taught me to value stability, to keep my emotions in check, and to never lose control. But all my confidence wavered the moment he walked back into my world. Once, he was just a boy, loud, restless, with sparks in his eyes that seemed like nothing more than childish mischief. The son of my old friend, almost family, someone I still remembered as a teenager. And now, tall, self-assured, with a smile that burned instead of comforting, with eyes that didn't just look, but pierced straight to the soul. We met by chance. Or maybe fate decided to play a little game with me. That evening, I had stepped outside, seeking a brief escape from my daily routine. The warm air, the sweet scent of night flowers, everything felt peaceful. But that peace vanished the moment I saw him. "Is it really you?" My voice sounded almost uncertain. He smirked as if he knew exactly what was going through my mind. "Why wouldn't it be?" His voice was deeper than I remembered, husky, carrying a quiet confidence that made my stomach tighten. We talked about simple things, about the weather, about how fast time flies, about how much he had changed. I watched him, struggling to reconcile my memories with the man standing in front of me. There was something untamed about him now, something that made my pulse quicken. And yet, I couldn't look away. Every movement of his carried strength, ease, and effortless confidence. I felt something tremble inside me, something dangerous, as if my body was betraying my mind, as if my thoughts were slipping into places they shouldn't go. "You're looking at me like you're not sure who I am." His voice was too close. I smiled, masking my confusion. "It's just strange seeing you like this." He stepped forward, too close. "Like what?" I didn't answer. Because there was no right answer. I'll take a short pause. Write in the comments where you're listening from and if you've ever experienced something similar in your life. Maybe someone from your past reappeared and turned your world upside down. Subscribe, there's much more to come. And now, I continue. I tried to ignore it. To pretend nothing was happening. That it was just my mind playing tricks on me, a fleeting moment of weakness. But were his glances accidental? Could I really ignore how he watched me, as if reading a book, savoring every page? Once again, we found ourselves alone, not intentionally, but as if fate had arranged it that way. The evening air carried something indescribable, subtle yet tangible. I could feel his presence even when he wasn't looking at me. "You've changed," he said one evening when we were alone. "In what way?" I pretended not to understand, but inside, everything tightened. "There's something in your eyes," he hesitated, squinting as if searching for the right words. "Or maybe it's me who sees you differently now." I smirked, looking away. "You're too confident." "Is that a bad thing?" There was a challenge in his voice. A slow shiver ran down my spine. It could have ended there. But it didn't. Accidental touches, so fleeting they could almost be innocent. The brush of his hand at the table, light yet leaving a mark. The touch of his shoulder as he passed by, lingering just a moment too long to be unintentional. And then, the words. Those seemingly playful phrases, spoken lightly, but leaving an aftertaste. "You're not who you pretend to be." "Oh? And who am I?" He tilted his head, smiling. "Someone who's afraid to admit the truth, even to herself." I wanted to stop it. To put an end to this, once and for all. But when he stepped forward, when he was so close I could feel his breath, the world seemed to fade away. "Just say the word," his voice was quiet, deep. I could have walked away. I should have. But I didn't. I did something I had never allowed myself before. My mind was saying one thing, but my body, my heart, my instincts, everything screamed another. And at some point, I just stopped resisting. It felt like falling into an abyss, and I wasn't sure if I wanted to climb out or disappear into it entirely. But the taste of the forbidden turned out to be bitter. I had no idea we were being watched. No idea that every glance, every touch, every half-spoken word had long since become part of someone else's game. That night, when everything happened, I didn't feel like a woman taking a step into the unknown. I felt like a pawn being moved on a board, the decisions made for me. I came home, trying to steady my breath, to convince myself that it could be forgotten, that nothing irreversible had happened. But the moment I opened the door, I realized I was wrong. He was waiting. Not my young temptation. Another. Someone who knew more than he should have. Did you think I wouldn't notice? His voice was calm. Too calm. Something inside me tightened. I realized I had been blind. That while I had been playing with fire, someone else had already been holding my hand, deciding whether to push me or pull me back. But he wasn't here to expose me. He wasn't here to judge. He wanted more. You have no idea how far these rules really go, he whispered, stepping closer. And in that moment, I understood, everything I thought was my game had actually been someone else's plan. And only now did I see the true edges of the trap. Write in the comments what you think about this story. Have you ever experienced something similar? Your thoughts and experiences are very important to me, and I truly appreciate each and every one of you. Subscribe and hit the like button so you don't miss new thrilling stories. Wishing you a wonderful day. And so I know you listened until the end. Write this phrase in the comments: the rules were not made by me.